Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited for episode number 4. I think we got a good thing going, but this is the Fourth and Faith podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an awesome thing. We're doing big things, and I'm thankful you all get to be a part of it. So here I am again, Dr. Andre Wilcock, Gooch, Coach Wilcock. Again, we're still working on whatever it is, but I guess at some point, I guess whatever you were introduced to me as, that's what you're going to call me, and that's fine. But today we have a pretty solid topic that I want to discuss, and it's really, man, trust your journey. I think at times we see people going through different things in life, and people having certain experiences, and people getting like making a certain amount of money, and people, doing things. You're like, man, I want that for myself, and there's nothing wrong with wanting things for yourself. There's something wrong with being jealous, but you should be jealous of no man. But there's nothing wrong with wanting things for yourself and being, motivated by what other people have going on. But trust your process. Again, please, I just want to focus on that. Trust your process. Your story is your story. Your testimony is your testimony. Episode 1, I gave a little bit of my testimony. That's my story. That's part of my process. I have friends in the coaching profession. That's not their story. Some of my friends' stories are, yeah, you know what? My dad was a coach, and I just decided to get into it. So I'm a coach too. And, that's their story. And some people's stories are, yeah, you know what? I, I had a really good high school football coach, and he had such an impact to me that I wanted to follow in his footsteps to become a teacher and a coach. That's their story. But understand your process is your process, and you shouldn't be frustrated or you shouldn't be jealous of someone else's story, someone else's process. That's their story. That's their process. But in your process, man, attack every day of your process and enjoy the journey, because your process is unique to you. And because it's unique to you, you have to take pride in it and embrace it. Because you look at other people's situation and you're like, hey, I want that for me. That's fine. But the reality of it is you have no clue what that person went through in order to get to where they are right now. So don't look at another man's situation and be on some, man, I need that. You don't know what that man went through to get to that situation. Are you prepared to go through what this man just went through in order to get there? Because I myself, again, anyone that knows me knows that, hey, man, I want to win a state championship so bad, multiple state championships, to be honest with you. And I talked to, I'm blessed to work with several coaches who have achieved state championships, and they're all like, hey, man, each year is different. You talk to different coaches like, hey, man, I went through X, Y, Z to get here. I have a friend of mine who coached for 20 years before he won his first state championship. I have a friend of mine that coached 5 years before he won his first state championship. And it's like, hey, man, like each year is different, and each title is different, and your story is your story. And I come to realize that, man, that's their journey. That's part of their journey. I have no clue exactly everything that they went through in order to get to their state championship moment. So what I started doing was, you know what? My story is my story, and I thank God for my story, because I know within my story, somehow, some way, God is going to get the glory. And if God's getting the glory, then whatever the process that I go through in order to get to where I want to go in life, it's worth it, because God is getting the journey. And that's the same thing. I'm getting glory throughout my journey. And that's the same thing with you all. So, don't look at someone like, man, this person makes $3 million a year coaching ball. I don't make that. I don't make that. One day I hope to make 300 million. I mean, 3 million. I do hope to make 300 million as well. But I hope to make $3 million a year. That's not my story right now. But I'm thankful for where I am in my journey, because I know that God's getting the glory. And I know that at some point, that whenever happens, I can look to God and be like, God, thank you for my experiences. See, in my coaching career, it has not been easy. So some people feel like, oh, man, you became a head coach at 29. You didn't really have to go through X, Y, Z, and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all have no clue what I had to go through in order to sit in the position where I'm sitting at right now. And if I tell people what I went through, a lot of times, when I do tell people what I went through, a lot of times they're like, man, you went through all that? I had no idea. And I was like, exactly. Just like I have no idea what, Nick Saban had to go through to get to where he is in his career. That's not my journey. That's not my story. But I can tell you that I'm inspired by the Nick Sabans of the world. But his story is his story. My story is my story. Your journey is your journey. So I want to just encourage everyone to, man, look, man, your journey is on you. That's your path. That's your story. And your story is not like anyone else's story. Your story is unique to you. Your testimony is unique to you. So if you're one of these people who are just in your career hustling and bustling, trying to make it happen, that's fine. Keep going, keep pushing. Hey, attack the day every single day. Coach Chadwell says strike the stone. Whatever, keep day after. I say do work in my program. Whatever you have to do to be motivated to get to where you're going, go ahead and do that. But stop comparing your situation, because comparison, man, it's a thief. It's the thief, man. It's robbing you of that joyful moment. So why are you comparing your situation to someone else's? Nah, man, be happy. Be happy with with your story and your accolades, and be happy going through the process. Because I'm telling you, when I was a player, I would look at people that play ball, but man, they had 100 tackles, man. I can't wait till I have a 100 tackle season. By the way, I never had a 100 tackle season. Just being brutally honest with y'all, not my story. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with seeing something and being motivated by it. But allow that to inspire you to work harder. Because if you just sit there and be like, man, I want this, I want this, I want that, you ain't gonna get it just by wanting it. You have to go ahead and work and allow your story to be your story. Like, yeah, my story is, man, I got after it and I worked hard and I worked like a dog. And when the opportunity presented itself, I was ready for my opportunity. I would love to hear that story. But if your story continue to be like, yeah, I look at so-and-so and man, I want that. Let me tell you something. If you're hungry, and we should all be hungry in life, but let's just say if you're hungry and you have a bowl of ramen noodles, are you going to eat your ramen noodles, or are you going to be in awe of the steak that the person beside you has, and you spend so much time staring at their steak that you neglect your ramen noodles? You're still hungry, and you didn't have to be. You have to take advantage of what's in front of you, because someone could have seen the fact that you took advantage of the situation you had in front of you, but like, you know what? I'm gonna bless this person with the opportunity because I seen how much they took care of the opportunity that they had. So you can't despise small beginnings. That's just a part of your story. So, but when you focus on someone else's situation, that's not the move, man. It's not. You have to be focused on what it is that you have going on. If you do great with what you have, greater will come. Other opportunities will present itself. But if your pure focus is worrying about what someone else has got going on, that's not it. It's not going to work out for you. And I would hate it, absolutely hate it, if someone didn't achieve their goals because they were so focused on what someone else had going on that they missed their opportunity because they were focused on what this person had or that person had. Look, man, I'm a high school head coach. I love my job. I love being a high school head coach. I have friends that are coaching ball in college. I don't despise their situations. I'm so happy for them. And one day I may get an opportunity to coach on a college level. Who knows? But until then, I'm going to work the dog out of the job that I have. And I'm excited about the job that I have. And the opportunity may never come for me to coach college ball. I may never coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That may not be in my cards. But with the opportunities that I do have, you better believe I'm thankful for it. I'm appreciative for it. And I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities. And look, and if something comes along, like, hey guys, we know what you think. We in this, first of all, I don't just take opportunities because they're presented to me. There's things to be presented to me. I'm like, all right, God, what you think? Like, where we going at with this? I don't make big time decisions without praying about it first. That's just me. That's just me. But just a little bit of advice, man. If you got a big decision coming up, man, hey, take some time to pray about it. Definitely take some time to pray about it, man. Seek counsel on it. Because the reality of it is we don't always make the best decisions when it's an emotional decision. Like, oh man, a new job, and we get excited. Oh, something new, but it may not be for you. So make sure you're praying about your situation. But anyway, man, focus on your goals. Focus on your situation. Man, focus on what you got going on. Because the day you decide to start focusing on what other people got going on, man, you're missing out on your bus. You're missing out on a friend of mine says, that's just not your bus, man. That's just not your bus. Sometimes we want things and we pray for things and it's just not for us in that moment. But don't miss out on your blessing because you're focusing on what someone else has got going on, and then you miss out what God got going on for you. Trust your process. Your process is unique to you. Trust your process. It is your process for a reason. Don't get caught up in something that somebody else got going on that ain't got nothing to do with you. Focus on your process. And I promise you, if you're focusing on your process, focusing on your situation, everything else will work itself out. But when we sit there and start looking at different things like, oh man, I wish that was me. Be careful what you wish for, because you don't know what that man had to go through to get that situation. You don't know those long nights when it's just when it's just you and God. You don't know. So man, if you're one of these people, man, that's praying about a situation, praying for new beginnings, for whatever you got going on in your prayer life, continue to focus in on that area. Focus on praying about the situation that you have going on, because your prayer time is part of your process. When you start staring at other people's situation, it gets real weird, because like, hey man, because now you start looking at that situation. I want that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself, but don't feel like that you should be in that position that someone else has just because you want it. Nah, man, focus on your journey, man. And everything else will take care of itself. Focus on your process. Your process is your process. And I hope that I'm not beating a dead horse, but I keep saying, hey, it's you just gotta focus on your process. I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying, because throughout your process, it's preparing you for the blessing that you've been asking for. If I got everything I prayed for the second I got it, the reality of it is I would not be ready for it in that moment. Because when I pray about certain things, I go through a process, and God starts preparing me for that process so I can handle the blessing that he's given me, so I'm not mistreating the blessing that he's given me. And a lot of times that we just want a quick microwave meal. Like, here we go. I got that microwave mentality. I want my blessing in 30 seconds. Nah, man. Sometimes the best meals that occur in life is probably Thanksgiving dinner. And I can't speak for everyone's family, but the way I grew up and the way we do things in my house, hey man, Thanksgiving may be Thursday, but the process starts probably Tuesday night. It takes time to get that big, it takes time to get that big fancy dinner. Like, it's going to take some time to get that big fancy blessing. So a lot of process to take place. But if we continue to have a microwave mindset and, hit 2 minutes, man, and get our Hot Pocket out, you gotta ask yourself, you want a Hot Pocket or you want Thanksgiving dinner? Which one is a better meal? And nobody better not say a Hot Pocket's a better meal than Thanksgiving dinner. If that's your mindset, I promise you, just go ahead and log off now. That ham and cheese has its purpose, but I promise you that Thanksgiving dinner, it serves a special purpose, man. It's awesome. By the way, it's my favorite holiday of the year. Love Thanksgiving. Probably explains why I gained a lot of weight after college, but hey, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting back right. But I'm saying that to say, man, that blessing takes time. So quit focusing on, oh man, such and such got this, such and such got that, and it ain't gonna happen for you that fast. All right, and besides, we all know that you appreciate things more when you work for it. When the harder you work for something, the more you're gonna appreciate it. If you spitting prayers out and you're getting it in 35 seconds, you're not gonna really appreciate the things that God is doing for you. So man, focus on your process, man. Your process is unique to you. Because I'm telling you, going through my process when I was living on people's couches and my car broke down and I didn't have any money in my name, the process was terrible. I hated it. I hated every second of it while I was going through it, man. But I have to say that process made me to who I am today. If I never went through that process in my 20s and my 30s, am I the man that I am today? Probably not. Because I wouldn't appreciate the blessings that God has given me if I never had to go through anything. If I never experienced lack, I probably wouldn't appreciate where I am today. And I thank God for my process. And look, the process ain't always easy. Let me just put that out there right now. The process ain't always easy. Even when God told Joshua to take the land, and you ought to hear me use that a lot, by the way. It's one of my favorite stories of the Bible. It wasn't easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Because if it was easy, everybody be doing it. There's a reason why every coach ain't walking around with state championship rings. There's a reason why a lot of great players in the NBA played against Michael Jordan, and he's 6-0. A lot of people didn't get rings because of Michael Jordan. All right, it's not supposed to be easy when you get to that pinnacle and have that confetti moment. It ain't supposed to be easy to get there, because if it was easy, that room would be crowded. Those rooms ain't crowded. It's a select few of people, a select group that say, "Hey, I'm a national champion. I'm a state champion. I'm a world champion." Those rooms ain't crowded, and they're not crowded because a lot of people quit during their process because they're focused on what other people have going on, and they say, "I can't do it," and that's not going to be me. And I'm hoping and praying that that's not y'all either. So whatever your process is, man, keep going. It's your story. And whenever you get that moment, whenever you win your championship in life, you have an opportunity to tell your story. Like, yes, I went through. All right, I experienced. I had to go through in order to get to. That's your experience right there, man. But when you focus on what other people got going on, like, oh man, I just can't do it no more. No, don't walk away from your process. Dig your creature to the ground and attack it, man. You can't just feel like, man, I just can't do this anymore. No, man, you got this. Just focus on your process. Man, horses have blinders on for a reason. They're focused on one thing, and that's the finish line. Focus on your finish line, and awesome things are going to happen to you, man. How awesome things are going to happen for you, and you're going to have a story to tell if you focus on your process. But if you focus on what other people got going on, you can tell their story. Or do you want to be the person like, yeah, I was so focused on what Johnny had going on that I missed my opportunity? No one wants that to be their story. At least they shouldn't want that to be their story. But no, man, keep going, man. Focus on your process. Stop looking at other people's situations like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go that route, and cause I seen what that happened. That grass ain't always green on the other side, cause you don't know what that person had to go through to get to that. And you also don't know that what you're graced for. God has graced you to achieve great things in where you are right now. And because you're not appreciative of the process that you're going through, you say, well, God has me here, but I'm going to remove myself and put myself over there. Not realizing you go ahead and do that if you want to, man. God ain't graced you for what's going on over there. God graced you for where you are right now. Keep pushing. And then whenever you have that breakthrough, make sure you give the glory to Him. And through the process, thank Him for what it is that you're experiencing. But when we start looking at other people's situation and we start comparing ourselves to them, man, all the things that we work for, man, we can't even enjoy it because we're watching someone else's situation. And that's not how it's supposed to be. So I just want to encourage everyone. Hey, man, trust your process. It is your process for a reason. If we all had the same testimony, it wouldn't be no need to share it. But we all have different testimonies because our stories are unique to each of us. Our processes is unique to us. So, man, I hope I said something that we can take with us and keep it moving with it, man. Because right now, look, I'm focused on my process. I can't worry about what other people got going on. I thank God for my process. And it's not always, it hadn't always been easy. But it's my process. And God is the author of my story. And I thank Him because whatever it is that I'm experiencing, I know that He's going to get the glory throughout this entire process. So I'm so thankful God has allowed me to be a part of a story that could be used to add to His kingdom. God, thank you. Hey, man, hope I said something. You know how we do at the end of each episode. We had our victory formation. This week's victory formation, man, what I'm thankful for my process. It wasn't always easy, man. I was a walk-on in college. wasn't very good in high school. Smaller kid, undersized kid that played hard. Walked on to college. I seen a lot of my friends. I came in with a class where a lot of people played early. I was not one of those people who played early. That wasn't my story. That's not my story. That wasn't my process. But I kept going and I kept pushing and I showed up to work day in and day out. And I was willing to, clock in and put the work in. And I was never the most athletic, never the strongest, never the smartest. But man, I worked. And eventually that turned into, hey, going into my sophomore year, I made the travel squad. Man, that was a big deal for me. Some of y'all like, man, he excited about the travel squad? Yes, man. I was excited about the travel squad. One of the huge moments of my college career. That's not everybody's story. That's mine. Eventually got on the field of special teams and I served as a backup in college. That's my story, and I'm thankful for my process. Now, some of my friends are all Americans, and I'm sure they're thankful for their process. And I'm super thankful because it was my experiences in college, part of my life story. But it was that kept me moving. I knew that, hey man, you gotta wake up and choose to fight day in and day out, and no one's gonna give you anything. So I'm thankful for my process, and I hope and pray that you guys are thankful for your process. And look, man, you trust your process, man. Great things are gonna happen. Continue to thank God. Continue to stay focused, and great things are gonna happen. But hey, I hope you all got something out of this. I don't want to keep you long again. This is just quick nuggets of what we're gonna do. Hey man, we're growing, y'all. Episode 4. It's episode 4, man. We are growing this thing, man. The Fourth and Faith podcast, man, is doing things. I have people asking me questions now. I asked someone, say, hey man, when you gonna bring some guests on? Hey, I'm with it. I'm with all of it. All right. So if you're interested in being a guest, shoot me an email or something, man. I'm available. I want to hear other people's Fourth and Faith moments, because again, in that Fourth and Faith moment in my life, and I had several of them, I choose to focus on my process during those Fourth and Faith moments. Whenever my back's against the wall, where I have no clue, God, I know you got me. So I just got to stay focused on you and trust that this is my process, and you're going to get all the glory in my process. And that's just how I'm rolling. So, hey, man, if you interested in sharing a Fourth and Faith moment, man, let me know, man. We bring you on. We make it happen. And listen, understand this. Fourth and Faith, again, I'm a football coach, so obviously the fourth down, back against the wall, you got to make it happen now. I get that, and that's where it came from. But at the same time, man, it ain't got to be about ball for you to come on here and share your testimony, man. You don't have to be a ball coach or a ball player to get something from these podcasts. All right, man, you got whatever going on, man. If you trying to start your own business and, back's against the wall and you're trying to figure things out, that's the Fourth and Faith moment, man. And I would love to hear other people's testimonies and just how, man, anytime that someone's talking about how great God is, I want to hear about it. Anytime that my Lord and Savior is getting some praise, I'm right there with it. I'm for it, all right? So again, I'm not going to hold you any longer. Fourth and Faith, episode 4, trust your process. Hope everyone got something out of this one. Grace and peace, everyone.